Awesome. All right. All right. So, for all of my families and students here who will be a part of our awesome Super Sixth Grade team, meet your administrators for sixth grade. And if they're on the call, they can jump on in and introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mr. Kennedy. I will serve as the sixth grade dean of students. So excited to welcome you guys this school year.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. The sixth grade assistant principal is Miss McDuffie, and our sixth grade student support specialist is Mr. Drummond, and our sixth grade social worker is Miss Gina Proctor. Moving on to the seventh grade team. Yes, Principal Strickland is the administrator for the seventh grade team as well as the overall school principal. And here is the rest of my team. And if they're here, they will hop on and introduce themselves. I think they're jumping on. Our seventh grade dean of students is Mr. William Walker. And our seventh grade student support specialist is Mr. Turner. And our seventh grade social worker is Miss Thomas. Moving on up to the seniors of our building, our eighth grade team. And if any of them are available, they can hop on and introduce themselves. So, our eighth grade assistant principal is Dr. Armstrong. She is also our assistant principal over special education. Our eighth grade dean of students is Mr. William Walker. And our eighth grade student support, our eighth grade dean is Mr. Andre Williams. And our eighth grade student support specialist is Mr. Jacob Walker. And our eighth grade social worker is Miss Harvey. All right. Now, let's jump right into the meat of our conversation tonight. We are all very aware that some of us are anxious, concerned, scared, worried about what is school going to look like in the middle of the pandemic. And I'll say this, my job and the job of every adult in this building is to make sure we're maintaining safety protocols at all times. So, number one, expectation is all students, staff, and visitors must wear masks at all times. Like Principal Strickland, I'm sitting in the school building right now. I have on my mask. So it is the expectation that every person in the building wear a mask at all times unless they're actively eating. Everyone that enters the building will be screened by the nurse. So the screening process is going to be a little bit different. There will be no temperature screenings, but what we'll be doing is the ask, ask, look protocol. So basically, the nurse will ask, have you been around anyone who has been exposed to COVID or someone who's actively has COVID in your house? They will ask, have you traveled? They will ask, do you have a fever? Are you not feeling well? They're going to ask those questions. And if your child or a guest or anyone answers yes to those questions, they will be sent to our isolation room. In that isolation room, the nurse will contact the parent and get parent permission about how to proceed with the student. And there are a couple of options. The nurse can test your child for COVID, but that's only with your permission. Or you would let the nurse know that you're coming to pick up your child because your child is ill or is not feeling well. And that'll be the same process throughout the day. If a child looks like they're not feeling well or they say they're not feeling well, they will be sent to the isolation room where they'll be evaluated by the nurse, and the nurse will call the parent. Parents, we do not test any student without your permission. We make sure that we contact you first in any event that your child is not feeling well or does not look well. Now, everybody will be back in the building every single day, Monday through Friday, for the full day. And so the best way for us to continue to contact trace is to assign students to a cohort. Those students will remain in that cohort all day long, except if they take a specialized elective like fashion design, STEM, or dance. Everything else they will take with their cohort. So even during lunchtime, the students will sit with that same cohort at lunch. So that way we will know who's been in close contact with who as they move throughout our building. Students will have assigned seats in all classes, as well as lunch. We will practice social distancing the best way we can during recess. And then, of course, students will have assigned seats during lunch and assemblies. And so those are our protocols, and parents and students, we'll all be a part of making sure we make sure our environment is safe, that we are in our bubble together, meaning we're respecting those protocols, not only in school, but outside of school as well. So parents, what we're gonna need your support with is reminding your child when they're walking to school, when they're riding the bus to school, when they're hanging out with their friends, that they are wearing a mask. We protect each other by protecting each other. So it's important because now we are in close contact. We're family. We have to take care of our family, which means that we cannot in any way be a part of any kind of risky behaviors that could, of course, jeopardize our school family.
Hello, Charles Hart family. Mr. Turner here with your public service announcement. When you report to school this year, you're going to have an updated medical report, meaning all immunizations have to be up to date. If you don't have your immunizations, you can check into your free clinics, which is the Merrick Center, Anacostia High School, or Ballou High School. Call them and set an appointment. We can't wait to see you here, Charles Hart Middle School. Have a great day.
All right, just like Mr. Turner just said, every student must have an up-to-date immunization record. It doesn't matter what school you attend. It's not just a Hart thing or a DCPS thing. It is DC law. Matter of fact, it's the law in Maryland and it's the law in Virginia. So please, if we do not have your up-to-date shot record and health forms, we need that information as soon as possible, because if we don't have it by the 20th school day, your child can be removed from school. So like Mr. Turner just said, there's several places throughout the city that your child can get their shots for free. Just make an appointment at those locations and get it done by the start of school. As soon as you get that form filled out, you can email it, scan it, fax it, or bring it up to the school so that we can make sure that your child is in compliance. And I explain this to the kids all of the time because sometimes they're like, so why do we have to get all of these shots? So I'll say this, when Principal Strickland was in the 5th grade, I got chickenpox. You all probably have never gotten chickenpox or seen a person with chickenpox because when you all were little, you got your first dose of immunizations that stopped the chickenpox virus. So that's how immunizations work. The more everyone becomes immune to them, it keeps those viruses like measles and smallpox and chickenpox from popping back up in our population. So it's very important to not compromise our schools' immunization by not having a shot. So please, please, please get that done. And you're going to receive a text message between now and Friday if we still do not have your up-to-date shot record. So please get that done.
Hello, Charles.
Let's see here. Uniform policy. And I'm going to try to see. Let me fix this. So, grade level polos and khaki bottoms. The khaki bottoms can be a skirt, a shorts, jumpers, capris. It doesn't matter as long as it fits and you can move around in it comfortably. That's what you wear on the bottom. On the top is your grade level colored shirt. Sixth graders wear gold, seventh graders wear green, eighth graders wear black. The shirt does not have to have the school logo on it, but if you want the school logo shirts, I'll drop the link later where you can order them online. And then when our shipment comes in, you can purchase them from the school. So right now, you can go to Kids for Less, Old Navy, Children's Place, wherever, Walmart, and purchase the solid color polo shirts for your grade level. As far as your shoes, they must be closed-toed and closed-heeled. So that means no slippers, no Crocs, no sandals, because one thing is every child takes PE at Charles Hart Middle School, and you cannot participate in PE with sandals, slippers, or Crocs. So that's why it's important that you have on closed-toed shoes every single day, as well as for your safety, because if a book or something falls on your toes, that can really hurt. So that is the reason why we say closed-toed and closed-heeled shoes. It does not matter the color of the shoe, as long as it's closed-toed and closed-heeled and something that you can walk comfortably in. And I'm going to try to get this video for AP McDuffie to play. Give me just 1 second. All right, slideshow. All right, well. All right, trying to get this video to play. I'm gonna have to move it up here. Hold on, you all. All right, here we go. Thank you for your patience. All right.
Do you know what time it is? Are you ready? Heart Jets, it's time for school to start. Are you ready? Do you have your uniform? Here we go. Sixth grade, you are expected to wear a gold shirt. Heart logos are not required right now. We just need you to get the gold shirt with tan khakis. Seventh graders, you will be wearing the green shirt, hunter green, or dark green, whatever you want to call it, but here's the color. Seventh graders will wear green with khakis. And eighth graders, your last year at Hart, don't cry, just buy a black shirt. You will be wearing black shirt with khakis for your eighth grade year. Also, parents, this is for you. Parents, this is for you. Are you listening, parents? Because I'm coming for you. Tonight, 5 o'clock at Hart Middle School, we will have an in-person.
All right. Now we're gonna move on.
Do you?
All right, technology. Every student will be assigned a device for them to use the entire school day. Devices will not go home unless there is a health emergency. And the reason why we're keeping the technology in the building is so that in the event we have to shift to a virtual posture, we know that you have a working device to go home with. So, how it's going to work. Each cohort is going to have their own computer cart. And one thing we do here at Hart Middle School, we really push student leadership. So a student leader will be responsible for the cart. They will push the cart They will pass out the devices. They'll make sure the devices are sanitized before they pass them out. And each kid will have a device assigned to them. So no one else will sign in on your device because it will be your device to use at school. And if the event we have to go hybrid or go virtual, students will get that same device to take home with them. Cell phone policy. Now, one thing I do know, because I have a child in my house as well, that time when we were all doing virtual learning, the majority of our students had their phone right there in their hand. So we know we have some very bad habits that we're going to have to break. So cell phones should be turned off and out of sight during the school day. That includes lunch. Now, parents, this is the important message for you. Do not call or text your child during the school day, because that's what they always say, it's my mama. So parents, please contact the school if you need to reach your child during the school day. You will get the cell phone numbers of your grade level support team, and they can reach your child quicker than you trying to call them on the cell phone. So please, 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 because we're not responsible for lost, stolen, or damaged cell phones. So that's why cell phones should be turned off and out of sight during the school day. Students can put them in their lockers, they can leave them in their backpacks or their purses, but they are responsible for their cell phones and they must be turned off and out of sight during the school day. Here is our bell schedule. And so we are on what's called a rotating schedule, an A-day, B-day schedule. So our doors at Hart Middle School open at 8:15. At 8:15, students can come into the building. They'll go down to the cafeteria and get breakfast if they want breakfast. Then they'll be dismissed from the cafeteria and then they will go to their advisory class. Advisory is their home away from home. In a Hart Middle School, it is the crux of how we build relationships with our students and our families. So every student is in an advisory. They're with those two adults from 6th grade all the way to 8th grade. So we become a part of your family. Those are the people who will be giving you those welcome calls. They'll be keeping in touch with you to making sure you're aware of what's going on with your student. They become a part of your family because they have your child for all 3 years. And in advisory, we talk about study skills, we talk about life skills, we give information about school. So it's where we set the tone for our day. After advisory, our students transition to their first period, their second period, and lunch. And I know you saying, oh my gosh, they get all this time for lunch. It's not free time. So lunch consists of 3 components. Students will get a chance to eat lunch. They will have a mandatory study hall. That's where they can do their homework and get help from their teachers inside of the building during the school day. And then last will be recess, where they get a chance to run around, interact with their peers, and blow off some steam. So that is what our lunch period looks like. Third period, and then fourth period, and then the end of the day. So our kids take a total of 8 classes. Math, science, English, social studies. Everybody takes PE. Everybody takes a reading support class, or it's really connected to ELA. Everybody takes a math enrichment class, which is to push them further in math. So those are the eight classes, and then they get 1 more additional elective. But they take 4 classes on each day. And so those classes are broken down by Monday, Wednesday, you take a set of classes. Tuesday, Thursday, you take a set of classes. And then Friday alternates between your A-day class or your B-day class. And so that's how the rotation for the bell schedule works. At 3:30, we start our after-school program, and I'll drop the link a little bit later for you to sign up. Our after-school program starts from 3:30 and it goes to 6 o'clock. So from 3:30 to 4:30, we call that power hour, where students are getting academic help. And then from 4:30 until 6, they will go into their specific activities that they've signed up for as it relates to after school.
Parents, we need you. At Charles Hart, we are well aware that our best chance for success is through a partnership with our families. You will be receiving welcoming phone calls inviting you to enjoy another year at Charles Hart or welcoming you to your new experience as a Charles Hart parent. We are also seeking members of our PTA. We will have a virtual PTA, and once we return to the building, we will continue. You can use the bit.ly provided in this slide if you are interested in joining us. We also have a parent cafe on the way, and please note the dates for our upcoming parent-teacher conferences. Again, parents, you are the key to our success, and we need you.
So parents, it is extremely important that you become our partners in this work, because you all can give us feedback, as well as also you can really support us in how we're trying to push your child. So it's important. We're in this together. We partners in academics, and we're about building trusting relationships, which require ongoing communication. During the first week of school, you're going to receive a welcome phone call from your child's advisory teacher, and just to get to know you all and figure out if there's any way that we can better support you.
Hello, I'm Ms. Robinson. This school year, I will serve as the Avid Dean. I wanted to talk to you all about our communication. First, we have an Instagram page. Our Instagram page is hot. We would like you all to follow. Please follow. It's at HeartMSDCPS. That is our main page. We also encourage you all to follow your grade levels, which would just be at Charles Hart 2025, 2026, or 2027, depending on the grade that you're in. You guys can follow them all or just follow your grade level. We send out a weekly bulletin, and we send it to your email address. Please keep your email up to date so that we can update you and the community about important events and information. Also, please make sure we have your up-to-date information. We send out text messages, emails, robocalls, letters. So we need everything. We need your address. We need your correct phone number, maybe a backup number. Please do not block us. We have a lot of important information. Some things are very beneficial. So please stay in contact with us. You can email staff members directly with any questions or concerns. That includes myself or any staff member. You can always email them or call and schedule an appointment. Thank you.
So one other communication that you're going to hear a lot about is Parent Square. Parent Square is a new app to Heart, but is an amazing app where we can send you all messages, give you information, but it's a way that you can have two-way communication with your teachers. So once you download the app and your child's schedule is updated, you'll be able to open the app and you can see their entire schedule. If you want to talk to their math teacher, you'll tap on that math teacher's name and you can send them a message. The message is going to go straight to the math teacher. So that way you don't have to worry about, do I have the right email address? Am I spelling the person's name correctly? That information is right there. So as soon as you get those, as soon as your child is enrolled, you'll be able to sign them up for our Parent Square, and that way you'll have all of the information to reach out to all of your child's teachers.
Good evening, Hart students and families. My name is Miss Lyles, and I am the Connected School Manager at Hart Middle School. It is my job to make sure that you all have everything that you need to be successful. From food, where we have our family food market every month and weekend food bags available, to school supplies and uniforms, even to mental health services. We all get a little bit stressed out sometimes and we need some support. So if you're feeling stressed and you need help with that, please let me know. I also manage our school partnerships that do enrichment activities, college tours, lunchtime groups, even in the virtual space. So if you need some extra support or you're interested in receiving services, my contact information is listed on the slide, and I've created a Google form so that if you need support, you can fill out that form, and I will be checking it every single week and following up with families with the resources that you need. So I hope you have a wonderful school year, and I'm excited to be a part of your family.
So Ms. Lyles is really pivotal in our school environment. So if you're in need of food or supplies or uniforms or resources, she is the person to get in contact with because she makes sure all of our students and families have everything that they need to be successful.
Good evening.
Okay, so now I am going to open it up for questions. So what I would ask is if you could use the raise hand feature. So that way I know. If not, you can, if you don't have access to it, you can start to talk and I can acknowledge you. Anybody have any questions? Yes, Diamond. And Diamond's mom, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Wonderful.
Yeah, I had uh with the aftercare, I did the application on DCPS. Would that go to y'all?
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you said that. I'm going to drop that link in the chat for the after school program. So if you're interested, parents, you have to fill it out. The one thing about this particular form, you have to do it from a computer. You cannot do it from a cell phone. It will not work. But I'm going to drop this link here in the chat. If you want to sign your child up for the after school program, it is funded by DCPS, so it is free for every single Hart Middle School student. Any other questions? Bernard Boone, yes, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
My question is, so there's no more virtual school. All students have to report to class every day now.
Yes, everybody will be back in person 100%.
Okay, because I don't feel too comfortable with my son going back with what's going on with this new strain of virus going on. And is there like a form or something I can fill out for that?
So there is a form, but your doctor has to say that your child medically cannot attend school in order to get a medical exemption to be a part of the virtual school. But I can
Okay.
definitely share that form and I can drop it in the chat if you want to apply for the medical exemption.
Okay, can you email it to me?
Absolutely. Hold on. Let me see. Miss Majette, are you on? If not, I can do it. All right.
I'm about to get it.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, thank you. So Ms. Majette will email you that medical exemption form.
Okay, because
Can you
I'm gonna talk to Bernard but I just want to make sure he don't get no type of contact with nothing from another student or anything. And I'm quite sure, I'm just being more cautious with him.
Absolutely, and that is totally understandable.
Okay.
can I speak?
Yes,
Um Same with me with the guy. Well, I know that you have to have a medical reason for your child not to come to school to do virtual, but I'm in the process of I have sickle cell, but Janaya don't. but I'm in the process of getting a letter from my doctor to take to her doctor to see. She just had the trait, but I have the full-blown disease, and I'm trying to see if I can get a letter from her doctor to see if she can stay home, because I don't want her to go to school and bring something back to me. So if you could email me that letter too, I really would appreciate it.
Okay, so I'm going to put it in the chat so you guys can hit the link for it. So anyone else that's interested in it, I will send it out to you guys.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And which Janaya?
Janaya Simpson.
Okay, got it. I'm
Thanks.
writing your name down because I know we have your email address and we can email it to you if you're not able to access it from the chat.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I raised my hand.
Yes, Diamond's mom.
I wanted to know, are they going to be using paper, notebooks, and all that stuff this year, or are they doing everything on computer?
So exactly, great question. I didn't jump into the school supplies, but all of the school supplies that the students will need, the first round of them, we will provide. So every student will get a device. They'll get a binder, they'll get pen, they'll get papers and highlighters, but they will not be turning in any papers to teachers. They will still be typing and putting the information into the computer. That way, that lessens the amount of contact and passing information and passing things, but students will still have to type and put their information into the computer. On the first day of school, every single student is going to get this big Ziploc bag that's going to have 5 masks. They'll get their own hand sanitizer and they'll get their own wipes so that they can wipe down their surfaces, because we all will be a part of helping to keep the building sanitized. In between each class, we'll wipe down the desks and the chairs, and then at the end of the day, the custodians will come in and wipe everything again. But we'll all be a part in making sure that all the surfaces are clean throughout the day.
Hi, this is Karaya's mom.
How are
Karaya
you?
Thorns. I'm
Yeah.
great, and yourself?
Good.
So I have one question, because I was already planning on sending my daughter back to school with the mask and the wipes and everything. But I also had a lot that I wanted to donate to the school itself outside of what she's coming with. So how do I go about doing that?
Absolutely. Just bring them up to the school. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Also, I'm going to drop in the chat for those students and parents who are here. And I sent it out in the text message this afternoon. But the students get to choose one of their electives. So remember, I said everybody takes PE. Now, the other elective, your child has an opportunity to select, and I'm going to drop that link in the chat. And we need you to fill that out by this Friday if your child wants first dibs at the course that they want to take. Those additional electives are STEM, fashion design, art, music, and dance. Those are the additional electives students can take, but everybody takes PE as well as Spanish. That's the other elective. So
I'm sorry, Miss Charlotte. This is Karaya's mom again. So
yes.
You said that you was going to email that out to the ones who are attending today?
Yes, I actually just dropped it in the chat as well. So you can just click on that link and you can do that right from your phone. And just ask your child's name, what grade they're in, their first choice of elective, and then their second choice of an elective. And that's it.
So they're not doing cheerleader?
Well, that's the sports, but the electives are the class that they take during the school day. These are the additional classes they take during the school day. But great question. So yes, our fall sports are up and running. Football is going on right now. Cheerleading will start when we get back into school. Then, of course, we have girls and boys basketball. Our soccer program through DC Scores is year round. We have cross country track, swimming, regular spring track, softball, and baseball. So if your child is interested in playing any sport, tell them to please listen out for the information when we begin to have tryouts, and just make sure you have an up-to-date health record on file if you want your child to participate in any of those sports. As it relates to clubs, we have a writing club. We are going to start a flag dancing club, a step team, as well as a drum line as well. And those activities will take place after school. Miss Butler, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Mr. Clear?
Good.
My question is, I might have missed it. You might have already said it, but will they be required to take weekly testing or anything like that?
Great question. So yes, we mailed home a form. You have to give us permission for your child to participate in the weekly asymptomatic testing. So if you want your child tested, you'll fill that form out and return it back to school. And then on a rotating weekly basis, your child will can get tested. But it only happens if you give us your consent. They will
Okay.
not test your child without your consent at all.
Okay. So once that first time you sign that paper, that covers the remainder of the year?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Miss Shepherd, how are you?
I am great. My child is fully vaccinated. So please drop the link so I can send that additional information to the nurse.
Oh, absolutely. Or you can, let's see, can you drop the email, Miss Majette?
I will send her the nurse's email address and I will put that in the chat as well for anyone else that wants to forward their health records.
Thank you. Or you can snap a picture of it, email it to me or Miss Majette. You can fax it, you can scan it, or you can bring it up to the school. Any other questions?
I have another question for the nurse.
Yes.
I wanted to know whether or not if you had Mikhail Butler's health record because I did turn it in.
I'll see if Miss Majette can hop in and pull it up and see, make sure we got everything from Michelle.
Okay, so he's good. And if anyone else had a particular question like that, you can send me an email directly and I will be able to go and check that as well, okay?
Okay.
And the
Thank
other
you.
thing, parents, what tends to happen, especially with our 6th grade and our 7th grade families, you all probably don't know that when every child turns 11, they have another set of vaccinations that they must receive. So sometimes we think our child is up to date with all their shots, but when they turn 11, there's another batch that they must take. So that will determine if you're in compliance or out of compliance. There is another shot that could be required, which is called the HPV shot. But that is one of the shots that the parent can fill out the waiver for if they don't want their child to have to get that shot. So we have those waiver forms. We can send them to you. I think we put them in envelopes, but if you do not want your child to get the HPV shot, you can just sign that waiver and then we won't have to worry about that shot. But all the other shots are a requirement.
You know, can I add one other thing? In case the database isn't as up to date as we would like it, that's why sometimes it may seem as if your child needs their immunizations. So we always ask to send us that copy. That way we can override it because it does take a while for them to put them all in the system. So the person I spoke with before, we know that, but if you forward it to me still, we can go ahead and have it overwritten just in case the system is saying one thing that's different from the paper, but the nurse just has to see the update. And that is just happening because they're playing catch up with the amount of kids that have to come in now that things have opened up and now we're going back in person.
Any other questions? Kind of just some advice and tips for parents and students. And so as it relates to lunchtime, and I know we all have a different palate and we enjoy different things. And so what I tell the kids and I tell the parents, if you don't like the food that they serve in the cafeteria, you might want to bring your own. So if we're going to try every month to publish the calendar for what's going to be served for lunch. And if your child doesn't like something, you can send them to school with their own packed lunch. We do have microwaves that we'll have to continue to clean out after every child's use. If you want them to bring something that needs to be heated up, we'll have 3 microwaves in the cafeteria for students to use. And so I see our 2 other assistant principals have joined. And so if they want to say anything to the families here, I will give you all an opportunity to speak.
Good evening, parents. My name is Dr. Armstrong, and I am the proud assistant principal of the 8th grade class, and I also oversee special education. Welcome to the Hart family.
Good evening, parents. I am Ms. McDuffie, and this year I will be the proud assistant principal for our students who are soaring to success, and that is SIX, success. I am happy to work with you all and partner with you all, and I will be available if you have any questions or any needs, or if you just want to inform us of what you feel are the best ways that we can support your students. But I am excited to work with you this year.
Awesome. Thank you. So if there are any other questions or comments, you all can reach out to us. We are recording this, so we will post this on our school YouTube, so you can go back and you can watch. All of the links that we dropped in the chat, we also sent them via text message, so hopefully you got those to your phone, and we will send another email as well. Ms. Butler.
Yes, how you doing?
Wonderful, and you?
I'm fine. I just had a question for us. My Zaria, she has her IEP, and I was wondering, will the IEP meetings be virtual, or will we be allowed to do it in person at the school?
Our first choice is for them to be in person, but if parents are not feeling comfortable about coming in, then we're also able to do them virtually. But our first go-to is for it to be in person.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. And what about far as like her being in school? Will she be pulled out, or y'all still working on that? You like pulled out of class for speech and stuff like that. She still would be have those sessions with them, right?
Yes, she will continue to receive her related services from the service providers.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. So parents and students, as a reminder, if you want to choose your elective class, you need to do so by this Friday. My wonderful scheduling team is hard at work trying to make sure we get all of our students scheduled so we can mail the schedules out. They will also be pushed out to the Aspen app. So those of you who have the Aspen app, and you get those alerts. But when your child comes to school on the very first day of school, and it's a big deal for the first day of school at Charles Hart Middle School, when they come in, they'll go through the screening process. They will go to the tables where they will get their advisory teacher's information. And then from there, they will go to advisory. When they get to advisory on the first day of school, we will have breakfast there waiting for them, a copy of their schedule, and all of the school supplies that they're going to need for the school year. So we give them everything that they need on that very, very, very first day. But your child is welcome to bring other supplies. But what I want you all to really stress to your child is do not share pencils, pens, papers with any student or anybody else. Keep all of your things to yourself. We have plenty of supplies, so nobody can say, well, I don't have a pencil. We have plenty of pencils and pens and markers and highlighters, so they don't have to worry about borrowing or sharing with anyone else. We know that it's going to be challenging with 450 kids to social distance, but we're going to do our best. That's why students will have assigned seats. Some desks will be in pods so that they only stay with that pod of people. But we're going to try to make this learning experience as safe and engaging as possible. One thing about Hart Middle School, even prior to the pandemic, all of our students are escorted everywhere that they go. So it's not like the old school where you ring a bell and everybody run out into the hall. No, that never happened, hadn't happened at Hart Middle School in a very, very long time. So our deans and our student support specialists, they pick the students up from their class and they walk them to the next class. So everybody transitions in a rotation, so everyone is never in the hallway at the same time. As it relates to bathroom use, only 3 stalls will be operational in the bathroom. That's so there could be no more than 3 students in the bathroom at a time. As it relates to water fountains, every student on the first day of school is going to get a water bottle. And we now have water refillable stations where students will just fill up their water bottles. So that way we're not at the water fountain. Everybody's not putting their mouth on the spigot. Everybody has their own bottle that they will fill up throughout the day, so that we, of course, can have water, but of course, continue to remain safe.
I have another question.
Yes.
You did say that we could come to the school to buy the uniforms.
Yes, they're not in yet. We haven't received our shipment, but you can purchase them online or you can just buy them from the local stores. But right now, our physical shipment has not arrived, so you can buy them online. And so we'll send out a message once they get here. Our vendor has kind of been moving a little slow, so we don't have them right now. But I'll drop in the chat the link of the website where you can go to order it.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Awesome. So we're on the countdown. We have 12 days. I think it's 12. It's 12 days. 12 days until school starts. So we have to make sure that we are ready. We will have probably next week, we'll have an in-person orientation for those of you who want to come inside the building. And we'll have another virtual one as well. But like always, reach out to us if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. We are here to support and serve you and your child.
Mr. Bernard over there excited. You excited when you heard them 12 days, bro. I seen you. I understand.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I see another hand, Miss Green.
How you doing?
Wonderful.
Good. This is my son's first year. So by this being his first year, am I going to be able to enter the school with him to see the setup?
You can come during open house, but not during regular school time. They're not allowing us to, unless parents make an appointment, for them to come into the building, because we have to limit the number of people who are in our building. But if during the open house next week, you can come and see the setup. But any other time, it would have to be via appointment.
Okay.
No problem. I see one more hand raised. It just says guest, so I can't call a name.
Yes, I was wondering when will the aftercare services start?
Great question. Aftercare will start the Tuesday after Labor Day. So the very first week of school, we do not have aftercare, but we will start the very next week, that Tuesday, and it'll be until 6 p.m. So make sure if you want your child to participate in aftercare, they must, parents, you must fill out that DCPS aftercare form. So Mr. Williams, our 8th grade Dean of Students, has joined. Mr. Williams, you want to say anything?
Of course, of course. I just want to give a big shout out to the new leadership in the building, which is going to be our big bad 8th graders. And we have high expectations for you guys as you've been knocking out of the park since 6th grade. You're actually the only kids in the building that, were there pre pandemic. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys again, and you guys providing the proper leadership that we know you're going to bring as 8th graders. So welcome back, guys.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. So if anybody has any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. If not, I cannot wait to see your faces. Well, your face with a mask on Monday, August the 30th. So I want to see all your eyes all nice and bright and see your smile up under your mask. But we're super excited to have you all in the building. You all just don't understand. A school is not a school if kids are not in it. So we're excited to be in person this year. But parents, we understand that we want to make sure that we're doing this safely because we are all precious cargo and we want to make sure our bubble, because we're now in a bubble together, remains protected. So thank you all so much. Have a great evening.